Welcome to Month 5 of the DevOps Lead Track. Months 1 through 4 gave you the measurement system, the human layer, the operational machinery, and the cross-functional playbook. DORA, OKRs, team topologies, on-call charter, release models, change management, freeze policy, rollback tree, RACI, partnership charter, shift left plan, game day calendar. Month 5 is what happens when you have to make all of that survive a debt conversation. The CFO has asked for a tech debt narrative. The CEO wants modernization milestones. The platform team is at 25% capacity for debt work, and 2 debt items are 1 bus factor. The thesis of this session: tech debt is not paid by writing more code. It is paid by naming the items, paying down the reckless ones first, planning a brownfield migration with a routing layer, making a build vs buy call with numbers, and stopping the things the team no longer needs. The artifacts, register plan, memo kill list are the work. By the end of this session, you will have a debt register with 15 or more items and named owners, a strangler fig modernization plan for 1 chosen item, a build vs buy memo with a 5-year TCO, and a stop doing list with sunset dates and a comms plan. That is what you leave with. Everything else is supporting material. Here is how the 4 hours are structured. Hour 1 is tech debt taxonomy. Ward Cunningham's debt metaphor, the 4-quadrant model, deliberate or inadvertent crossed with prudent or reckless, and a workshop where you inventory your team's debt and classify each item. The deliverable is a debt register that survives contact with reality. Hour 2 is brownfield modernization. The strangler fig pattern, branch by abstraction, parallel change, the Big Bang rewrite that is almost never the right answer, and the 3-phase plan with a routing layer and a per-phase rollback. The deliverable is 1 modernization plan for 1 chosen item. Hour 3 is build, buy, plus stop doing. Wardley mapping for build vs buy, the 5-year TCO that has 4 cost lines, not 1. The build vs buy memo as a forcing function with named reversal conditions, and the stop doing list with sunset criteria. The deliverable is a memo and a kill list. Hour 4 is stakeholder communication. The debt cost 1-pager for a non-engineering audience, a CFO panel pitch with 2 rehearsed answers, and offline milestones before month 6. Ward Cunningham introduced the debt metaphor in 1992 in an OPSLE experience report. The point: shipping first-time code is like going into debt. A little debt speeds development so long as it is paid back promptly with a rewrite. The metaphor is a discipline, not an excuse. The team is borrowing capacity now on the agreement that they will pay it back before the interest, workarounds, defects, slowdowns, exceeds the principal. What the metaphor is for: debt is a deliberate trade. The team is borrowing capacity on purpose, with a date and an owner for the rewrite. The metaphor is a forcing function for a trade-off the team is making consciously, not a label for every old thing in the codebase. Why the metaphor gets misused: 5 common ways. 1. Calling every old or messy thing tech debt. Sometimes the code is just old, working, and fine. 2. Treating debt as a moral failing of the team that wrote it. Usually the team that wrote it is not the team that owns it now. 3. Counting the principal, not the interest. A 1,000-line rewrite paid for once is cheaper than 30 minutes per incident for 2 years. 4. Forgetting that some debt is structural. You cannot refactor around an unowned system. You have to rehome it. 5. Letting will pay it back become the only column. There must be a date, an owner, and a cost number. Cunningham's metaphor was extended into a 4-quadrant model. 2 axes, deliberate or inadvertent, prudent or reckless. 4 cells, deliberate and prudent, ship now, fix later. Here's how: a known compromise with a written-down payoff plan. The team is borrowing capacity on purpose, with a date and an owner for the rewrite. The strategy: manage. Track the principal, schedule the paydown. Deliberate and reckless. We don't have time for design. A conscious choice to skip the discipline, with no plan to come back. Usually framed as a one-off. Usually isn't. The strategy: pay down first. This is the debt that compounds. If the team has the recklessness in writing, Slack threads, ticket comments, we'll fix it in the next sprint for the last 6 sprints. That is the priority. Inadvertent and prudent. Now that we know, we do it differently. The team learned something the original design could not anticipate. The current shape is the right answer for what was known then. The strategy: learn. Update the playbook. Don't blame the past. Migration of the auth library from scratch to SAML is the textbook example. There was no off-the-shelf option 3 years ago. The team shipped what they could, and now there is. Inadvertent and reckless. What's a design pattern? A gap in the team's competence, not a deliberate trade. The fix is training, hiring, or pair rotation, not a refactor sprint. The strategy: invest. Skill, not rewrite. The register is the artifact that makes the rest of the session work. If the register is generic, the modernization plan is generic, the build vs buy memo is generic, and the CFO pitch is generic. 5 columns minimum. Item type: cost in eng hours per quarter, risk low, medium, or high, bus factor, owner plan. If the row cannot name a bus factor, the row is not done. The example on the slide: DO1 Jenkins Legacy CI for engagement 3. Type: reckless, deliberate. Cost 60 eng hours per quarter. Workaround time: plugin maintenance, manual triggers. Risk medium. Bus factor 2. Owner AP plan: migrate to GHA in Q4. D3 self-hosted Kafka with no managed ops option tested. Type: reckless, deliberate. Cost 90 hours per quarter. Risk high. Bus factor 1. The only person who knows the cluster plan: build versus buy memo. D55 decoupled auth library, no SAML. Type: inadvertent, prudent. Cost 40 hours per quarter. Risk medium. Bus factor 2 plan: adopt Keycloak in Q4. The 3-question cost estimator. For each item, ask 3 things. How long does the workaround take per occurrence? How often per quarter does the workaround happen? Multiply. That gives a defensible eng hours per quarter spent on this debt. It is an estimate, and that is fine. The act of writing it down forces ranking. If the team will not write the number down, the team has not yet decided the item is debt. Named after the strangler fig vine that gradually replaces a host tree, the new system grows around the old one, the routing layer shifts traffic, and the old system when nothing is left to route to. 3 stages. Stage 1. Routing layer first. Old 100%, new 0%. A proxy, an API gateway, or a feature flag sits in front. The routing layer is the prerequisite. Without it, there is no migration. If the routing layer is on the same roadmap as the migration, the team has 2 migrations. Stage 2. Coexistence with reconciliation. Old 50%, new 50%. Dual writes, shadow reads, contract tests, data reconciliation. The hard phase. Plan rollback per slice, not per project. Each slice 1 feature, 1 endpoint, 1 table. Must be able to flip back independently. Stage 3. Sunset and decommission. Old 0%, new 100%. Old system in read-only for 1 quarter, no production rights. LOC removed. Runbook updated. Post-mortem of any near misses written and filed. The key requirement is the routing layer must exist before migration begins. No will add the gateway in phase 2. If the routing layer is on the same roadmap as the migration, the team has 2 migrations. Strangler fig is the default, but it is not the only pattern. 3 options, plus 1 to avoid. Strangler fig. When external-facing services with a clear routing boundary, HTTP, Q, gRPC. Default for most rewrites. Risk profile, low. traffic shifts in slices. Reversibility, high, flip the route back. Branch by abstraction. When internal libraries or shared modules, replace the implementation behind a stable interface. Risk profile, medium, both implementations must compile. Reversibility, medium, interface holds, swap implementations. Parallel change. When schema, config, or data shape changes where old and new must coexist briefly with feature-flagged rollout. Risk profile, medium, dual write correctness is the hard part. Reversibility, high, flag off, old still runs. Big bang rewrite. Almost never. Cite a defensible reason in writing if the team thinks it is the exception. Risk profile, high, single queued over. Reversibility, none. Gun going back to old is itself a project. Just rewrite it as a smell, not a strategy. Rule of thumb. If the rewrite is we have to cut over a weekend, that is a sign the migration is underplanned. All 3 patterns above let the team ship a working slice per week. If yours does not, switch patterns. Bounded to 1 quarter, 12 weeks. 3 phases. Phase 1, weeks 1 to 4, foundation. Routing layer live, proxy gateway, or feature flag already shifting traffic. 5% canary on the new system. Contract test pinned to a frozen interface. 5% rollback procedure documented and tested. 1 engineer can execute it. The phase ends when the canary is green for 5 consecutive days. The contract test is passing, and the rollback has been rehearsed. Phase 2, weeks 5 to 8. Coexistence. 50-50 split, with reconciliation job comparing old and new output per slice. Data consistency checks. Alert on divergence greater than 0.1% per slice rollback. Not the whole project. Every slice can flip back independently. The phase ends when divergence is below 0.1% for 14 consecutive days. Phase 3, weeks 9 to 12 sunset. 100% on new. Old system read only for 1 quarter, no production rights. Old LOC removed. Runbook updated. Postmortem of any near misses filed. The phase ends when old system has had 0 rights for 30 days, all consumer traffic is on the new system, and the runbook has been updated. Exit criteria for aborting. Honest answer to when do we stop. Write it before the project starts. More than 1 sev1 caused by the migration is a defensible line. We feel uncomfortable is not. The criterion must be a number or a measurable event. Simon Wardley's mapping. Components move through 4 stages: genesis, novel, rare; custom, built for 1 user, evolving; product, off-the-shelf, mature; commodity, utility, rent by the hour. The decision changes at each stage. Genesis. No off-the-shelf option exists. The work is the moat. Default, build, in-house. Accept the cost. Hire for this. The BISTEC custom build orchestration is at this stage. No off-the-shelf tool covers the multi-engagement pattern the team runs. Custom. Several vendors exist but none fit. The team is early in the market. Default. Build or fork OSS, with a written payoff plan if the market catches up. Product. Mature vendors. Market is consolidating. Switching cost is low. Default. Buy or adopt OSS plus integration. Stop competing on commodity. The BISTEC log shipping story is here. Vector and Loki together do what the custom sidecar did. Commodity, cloud, utility billing, no differentiation available. Default, rent. Reverse the build. The cost of running it yourself is the only signal that matters. Object storage is the textbook example. The wrong question. Should we build or buy, without first asking what stage is this component in, is how the team ends up building a custom monitoring system when Datadog already exists, or buying a CI tool when the team actually needed custom build orchestration. Stage first, then decide. A defensible 5-year TCO has 4 cost lines, not 1. hours, licenses, infrastructure, opportunity cost. Pick the highest variance line and argue that. The others are accounting. The example on the slide. A build option costs 2 FTE times 5 years, 10 FTE years at 150K loaded, plus $15K per year, infra, be 75 hours. The buy option at $80K per year license is 400K, plus 0.2 FTE times 5 years, 1 FTE year. The OSS plus integration is $0 license, 12K per year infra, 0.6 FTE times 5 years, 3 FTE years. The hybrid is in between. The opportunity cost line is the one most often missing. If the build option is 2 FTE, what else would those engineers build? That is the cost the team never accounts for in build versus buy. It is the highest variance line because the answer depends on what the team would do instead. Honesty check. If the build estimate is 2 engineers for 2 months, and the buy estimate is 30K per year, also estimate what those 2 engineers would build, what migration costs when the vendor changes terms in year 3, and the integration burden either way. Without those 3, the TCO is theater. 1 memo, 7 sections, signed by a named decision owner. No TBD, no TBC after more research. The memo is a forcing function, not a draft. Section 1, the component. What capability the team is providing, current implementation, who uses it, daily volume. Section 2, wordly position. Genesis, custom product, or commodity, argued, not just stated. Cite why. Section 3, options. Build, buy, OSS plus integration hybrid. All 4 considered, not just 2. Section 4, 5-year TCO. hours, licenses, infra, opportunity cost. Numbers with sources, not ranges. Section 5, non-TCO factors. Lock-in, control, talent retention, regulator constraints, audit trail. Some of these are the deciding factor even when TCO says buy. Section 6, recommendation. One option, named with reasoning. Include, what would change our mind? Section 7, decision, owner, and date. A name, not a team. A date, not a quarter. The owner must be the person who can be wrong out loud. What would change our mind is the most important sentence in the memo. If the recommendation is buy, state the conditions under which the team would reverse: vendor price change, security incident, internal capability uplift. If the recommendation is build, name the milestones at which the team would buy instead. Reversal conditions turn the memo from political theater into a decision. Every quarter, the platform team names 3 to 5 things it will explicitly stop investing in. Each row has a why we did it, a why we stop, a replacement, or we accept the loss, a sunset date, and a comms owner. If the row cannot name a replacement, the row is we accept the loss, and that is also valid. The example on the slide. D12 Custom Jira to Slack Integration Ad Hoc 2023, unmaintained 18 months, replaced by Atlassian's native, Sunset 2026-08-01, owner APD13 Bespoke Notes Generator, we wanted nice notes nobody reads, replaced by conventional commits and the standard tool, Sunset 2026-09-01, owner BSD14 Quarterly Platform Demo. Transparency, poor attendance, low signal, replaced by recorded async demos, Sunset 2026-07-01, owner platform. D15 Custom Log Shipping Sidecar, we needed control, now duplicates Vector and Loki, replaced by Vector and Loki only, Sunset 2026-08-15, owner platform. D16 Internal Service Catalog UI, pre-Backstage era, stale, low usage, replaced by Backstage with custom plugins, Sunset 2026-10-01, owner CR, why this list exists. Platforms accumulate features the way gardens accumulate weeds, not because anyone planned them, but because no one planned to remove them. A stop-doing list is the named act of pruning. Without it, the team is adding to a pile that no one can audit, and the size of the pile is the next CFO conversation. Each sunset has 4 comms touchpoints, pre-written. The point is that the team that did the killing is the team that announces it, not a manager, not HR, not a generic ops email. Honest brief, named alternatives, 30 days before. On date, we are sunsetting thing. It will be replaced by alternative. If you depend on thing, reply by date, and we will work with you on the migration. Owner name, 7 days before. Reminder, thing is being sunset on date. Migration path, link. If you have not started, reply, and we will pair with you for 30 minutes. Owner, name. Day of cutover. Thing is now read-only and deprecated. Alternative is live. If you hit an issue, page name on the on-call rotation. Runbook, link. 30 days after. Thing retirement retro. Users affected, escalations handled lessons. We will reverse the decision if X is reported within 30 days. Otherwise, the kill is final. Voice and reversal. Plain language, not bureaucratic. The comms team that did the killing must own the writing, not the comms team, not the manager. The reversal path is part of every announcement. We will reverse if X happens within 30 days. Without that, the team is treating the kill as final, which means no one is allowed to be wrong out loud, which means the next thing the team kills is the one no one admits they use. The CFO is not going to read the register. The one-pager translates the top 5 debt items into 3 numbers, dollars per quarter, business risk, and what changes if the team pays it down. 1 page, 3 charts, no jargon. The 3 numbers. And cost per quarter, hours spent on workarounds times blended rate, sourced from the 3-question estimate. Business risk, customer impact severity if the debt fails, sourced from incident postmortems, near miss reports, SLA breaches, 1 customer who left. Paydown scenario, cost in dollars, weeks, and FTE for the top item, sourced from the Strangler Fig plan and the Build VS by memo. What to leave out? Architecture diagrams. Tech debt without a business consequence. Items with no known paydown path. Anything that requires a glossary. The one-pager is for a 5-minute read, not a 30-minute review. What to put first? The single item that will hurt the most if it fails. Lead with the one, not the list. If the CFO has 5 minutes, they should walk out knowing the one number that matters and the one decision they own. Practice the pitch twice. The exec pitch is the highest leverage moment of the session. Rehearse it twice, with a hostile questioner, before the room. What would change your mind is the question that destroys unprepared pitches. Have an answer. How would you measure success in 90 days is the second one. Have a number for that too. Q1 to Q3 2026. 3 engagements on a shared platform. Around 30 known debt items. 25% capacity for debt. 1 bus factor on 2 critical items. The fix was the artefacts. A register, a Strangler Fig plan, a Build VS by memo, a stop doing list, and 1 quarter of disciplined execution. Hours per quarter on workarounds went from 320 to 140, a 56% reduction. What got us there? Strangler Fig on Jenkins to GAA, dual write reconciled. 1 bus factor debt items went from 2 to 0, a 100% reduction. What got us there? Pair rotation plus a runbook plus a named second owner for each item. Quarterly platform incidents went from 4 to 1, a 75% reduction. What got us there? Postgres 13 to 15 upgrade, Kafka Build VS by memo, custom auth library migration to Keycloak. Stop doing items retired went from 0 to 5, a +5 net change. What got us there? Jira Slack, release notes generator, live platform demo, log shipping sidecar, service catalog UI. Capacity return to product work went from 25% to 40% of the platform team's capacity, a 60% increase. What got us there? Debt paid down, features killed, bus factor resolved. The thesis, in 1 sentence. Tech debt is not paid by writing more code. It is paid by naming the items, paying down the reckless ones first, planning a brownfield migration with a routing layer, making a build vs buy call with numbers, and stopping the things the team no longer needs. The artifacts, signed and reviewed, are the work. Each deliverable is a single artifact that survives the session. Each is scored against 5 criteria, 5 points each, 25 per deliverable. The session is pass or fail at 75 of 100. Deliverable 1, debt register, 25 points. 15 items minimum, all 4 types represented: cost, risk, bus factor owner, and plan on every row. Methodology, distribution, top 5 bets, debt we keep, 1 bus factor hotspots. Deliverable 2, modernization plan, 25 points. Strangler fig on 1 chosen item. Routing layer specified, 3 phases bounded, rollback per phase, data consistency mitigation, abort criterion. Deliverable 3, build vs buy memo, 25 points. 1 component, Wardley position argued, 4 options considered, 5-year TCO with numbers, non-TCO factors, recommendation with reversal conditions. Deliverable 4, stop doing and comms, 25 points. 3 to 5 items with replacement, or we accept the loss. Real sunset dates. Pre-written comms templates. Reversal path, plain language, not bureaucratic. The thesis again. Tech debt is not paid by writing more code. It is paid by naming the items, paying down the reckless ones first, planning a brownfield migration with a routing layer, making a build vs buy call with numbers, and stopping the things the team no longer needs. The artifacts, register plan, memo, kill list, are the work. The DevOps lead's leverage is the meeting at which one of these artifacts is signed, named, and dated. The chart, the slide, the policy are downstream of that meeting, before month 6. Walk the register through the team, get the bus factors named, get the cost numbers reviewed. Pilot 1 strangler fig phase, even if it is 5% on one service. Pitch the build vs buy memo to a real exec, capture the questions. Stop one thing this quarter. Comms it. Then come back for executive communication, where we work on the cadence and the framing for the next 4 quarterly debt conversations.